morning, everyone, or good afternoon, and welcome to Compassionate Conversations. I'm Tanys Coughlan, and I am joined by my co-host, Heidi Gagne.
Hello.
We're from My Place Home Care, and we have some awesome guests today, Brad Nemes and Greg Hollander. So welcome, guys. It's great to have you on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Brad, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I am a mortgage agent with Capital Mortgages, and I basically find people money. And everyone's like, oh, that sounds really good. Well, it usually comes with a bunch of payments or some accrued interest, or we have the interest back in. But yeah, that's basically what I do. And I've been doing it 23 years with Capital Mortgages.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you. And Greg.
Yeah, hi, everyone. My name's Greg Hollander, and I'm with Royal LePage Integrity Realty. I'm a realtor, and I help people buy and sell homes. But my focus is primarily working with seniors to downsize. And a lot of my clients are actually seniors with particular challenges, whether it's financial or physical or mental.
Right.
Rewarding work.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
Greg, let's start with you because I do have a question.
Okay.
What is it that you do that makes you a senior property specialist? So why do you focus on seniors, and what makes it different than anything else?
Oh, it's interesting. Well, first to answer why I focus on seniors. When I first got into business, I've been doing this for about over 17 years. And the primary way of getting clients was basically sitting on the phone and calling people. And
Right.
we call it lead generating. And lots of other industries call it that too. And the phone numbers that I was getting were basically landlines. And so, we were already in the age of cell phones. And so the primary users of landlines were seniors. And so I found myself working a lot with seniors and really getting along with them and
Excellent.
finding a real connection there. And so that just kind of happened organically on its own. And then at some point I realized, I really want to have a purpose with my work, not just go for the transaction. And I looked back at my business and I saw how much work I was doing with seniors. So I decided to focus on helping seniors with my experience to make this transition and help them. And it really is, like you said, very rewarding, kind of a good feeling about what I'm doing.
So what is different about it though? Like you
Sure.
said you help with downsizing. So I mean, a lot of people downsize. What makes it different for seniors?
Well, a lot of the cases, it's people who haven't done it for a long time. So it's been 30, 40 years. I moved someone earlier this year who had been in their home for 45 years.
Wow.
And so that's one aspect of it.
Right.
Dealing with the changes, just like everything else in the world, real estate has changed radically. A lot of it is online now. There are a lot of electronic tools that are a part of it and a way of communicating. We now are able to sign our documents or contracts online, electronic signatures.
Right.
I find myself actually carrying a lot of paper around because of the clients that I work with, and pen and
Right.
paper, the old fashioned way. But also a lot of them bring other aspects to the transition. And that would, for example, the person that I mentioned just earlier, she was in early stages of dementia.
Oh, dear.
So she was fine. She's actually a real sweetie and really nice to work with. And her family was helping. Her daughter-in-law was helping. Excuse me. And she had gotten a place in one of the senior communities. And so she had a place to go to, but she needed to sell the house and she needed someone with the right experience and the right skill set. And that's what I bring to the table. On top of that, I have a great network surrounding me, people like yourself, and other people like Brad, and of course, you had Warren Bailey on,
Yeah. And Sue.
and Sue, of course,
Yeah.
different people who can help in different ways, because
Right.
it's more than a one-man job or one-person job. And
Right.
so, and that's actually, I love that aspect of working as a team from different aspects. And after many years of developing this network, these are people who I trust.
And that's
and
really
that's
important. Because I mean, word of mouth is still really important, but again, for people of that generation where, Googling isn't their main focus. It isn't the first thing that they do. And so I would imagine both Greg and Brad, you both have to kind of, when you're dealing with a senior client, you kind of have to go back to the old ways or however you want to.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard though, because you're so used to sending emails out now. I know I find myself doing that too. I'm like, oh, I'll just email you. Yeah, I don't really email, or I only check it once a week. Oh yeah. Okay. And so you kind of have to think, you have to go back to the old style tools.
That's it.
And so, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
It's funny, Heidi, you were saying about emailing. I also work with younger clients too. And actually, sometimes it's either the grandkids or the kids of my clients. And, so it becomes a whole family affair. But the younger clients don't even look at their emails. It's about texting.
Yeah.
They don't even answer a phone call. It's about texting. WhatsApp is a huge tool.
Okay.
Becomes a big part of the machinery. So yeah.
But then you have so many different people that, like, when I get a text of something that I know, I question it like a hardcore, like everything is a scam to me now. And considering my husband's identity has been stolen, and we are going through the process of fixing that, it has now made everything even worse. Now I'm like, I don't trust any text, and I'm like, if I send something like important information, I'm like, hey, I'm going to text you this, like expect it to come from. But it's texting is scary though. Like, that's so much. There's so much scamming out there. So Brad, I'm sure you deal with money. Like, I'm sure this is also a difficult thing for you. So what is it like working with, like, do you have a lot of senior clients, and, do you find that it's the technology has changed as well for you guys?
You don't even want to text a senior, it's just
my mom hates it.
Yeah, it's like it's just not practical. No, they want face to face. They want that comfort. They want that way they used to do things when they were younger, and that's what their comfort level is. I started out actually working for Chip Reverse Mortgages back 25 years ago. And, originally when, reverse mortgages were like, what the heck is that? They're going to take your house. So all of those conversations were done face to face.
Right.
And now when I get an application from a senior, it's like, oh, you want a reverse mortgage? Oh, geez, where do you live? Where am I going today? Because it's like, I've made the mistake of trying to engage and, trying to do the email and the online and all that stuff. And, it just doesn't work.
Right.
So like 2 years ago, I had to drive all the way down to Prescott because, that's where the senior was. And the realtor down there referred me to, go see Betty. And so we went and saw Betty, and that's just the way it was. So yeah, face to face. Then you look at the other end of the spectrum with the 25, 30 something crowd. Like, they're trying to take pictures and send stuff to you on your phone. And I'm like, no, I can't take your bank statement from a phone screenshot. Bank's not going to accept that. We have to use PDFs. You have to sign on to your computer. And they're like, oh, do that. I don't even know my password. And I'm like,
Yeah, we are in such an interesting time where people like us, and we're all like within the same age range, are used to the old ways, but are adapting to the new ways. And it's like you're being pulled in two different directions of what you suddenly get used to, and then suddenly you have to do something different. And I mean, I could not think we bought our house 16 years ago, 16 years ago. And honestly, I think we maybe had signed a couple things. Nope, we didn't sign anything over online. We were living in Ottawa and we moved south of Ottawa, and our realtor had to come down with us, and we did everything. And, like everything was in person. And I work remotely now. So I'm just like, oh, hey, this is so much easier. Like, here's an Adobe sign. You can sign here. You can, but it's still, you still have to do it. But I think people are also kind of getting used to it a little bit after COVID, how everyone kind of got used to being forced to do it. So I wonder if it's one of those things that was on its way, but did COVID kind of force its hand to make it faster and make it more acceptable and adaptable to people?
I think it completely switched. It went from maybe 1 or 2 clients out of 100, you'd do everything by email or fax before COVID, and now it's 1 or 2 people want to meet you in person out of 100, and do wet ink, the old style wet ink signatures. So it's completely switched.
That's crazy. Yeah. And so we're so much more trusting, it seems, which is scary.
Like, oh, I have to drive where? No, I don't want to do that.
Sorry, I have a cat here.
Oh. It's okay. I banished my dogs downstairs.
Yeah, she pushed her way in here and now she wants out. Sorry about that, Brad.
No problem. So I think that there's a huge mindset, but when you're dealing with different demographics, especially the age ones, you don't have a choice. You still need to cater to what they're feeling.
Right. Because you need to be trustworthy and trusting. Yeah. And if that's what makes them feel comfortable, that's what, we still do intakes in person. We do prefer when we can do them through Teams. But we can understand the connection, the closeness that is kind of developed when somebody comes into your home or you meet them somewhere, and you have that face-to-face. Yeah. I mean, Teams is wonderful. Zoom, that sort of thing is great in that you can still talk to people and it's not just a voice over the phone. But that in-person feel is I think really, really important to a lot of people in the more senior side of things.
And they have a challenge with technology. Yes. If it wasn't for, I'm the least technical of my siblings, so I don't get the calls to go over and fix the computer. But my brother, Jeff, he's there every 2 weeks fixing something that my dad did to the computer, disconnected the mouse somehow, or, lost all his bookmarks.
Right. And does your family, your parents live in Ottawa?
Yeah, they're in Stittsville.
Okay, so in case your brother is busy, call Tasketeers. They do IT help.
I got 3 brothers that are all more tech savvy than me. So
there you go. You're good. You're good.
I am like low man on the totem pole there. I go over to fix other things. We all have our specialties, right?
Perfect.
Mine is not computers, so I'm safe.
Yeah, I was watching your podcast and I didn't realize Tasketeers did online support.
They do IT and technical support, and they'll come and help.
That's great.
If there's anything like getting one of their clients logged out of all their passwords, because everything is connected now, right? Your cell phone saves all your passwords, and if something happens, you're out. You know. But okay, Brad, I do want to talk, which I think is a fabulous thing that I honestly did not know about until I started working at My Place Home Care. Reverse mortgages. Let's talk about reverse mortgages, because I think these are fantastic and so helpful for a lot of seniors.
All right. So I got into the mortgage business working for Chip Reverse Mortgages. I did that for a couple of years, and all I did was reverse mortgages, and people there's this huge misconceptions around the product about, people are going to lose your house. They're actually taking the title of your house. Your equity is going to go away. All these really scary things that could happen. And really, all a reverse mortgage is a regular mortgage, a regular first mortgage charge, and the first charge is registered first position on title. And except making payments, the interest accrues, and it's based on age. But before you get into that, and I can get all technical about that, really the average 70-year-old can qualify for around anywhere between 20 and 30% of the equity of their property. And really, that's the biggest target market for that kind of thing. Yes, all the mortgage companies, all the reverse mortgage companies will offer you, oh yeah, you're 55 and you can get a reverse mortgage. Yes, but you get 10% of the equity of your house, not 40, 50, or 60.
Because you're younger.
The reverse mortgage companies know that we're accruing that mortgage, and they want to make sure that there is equity left over at the end of the day, so that there is money when they do actually have to sell and vacate, and they have to move into a home or a children's home or something like that. There still will be equity there. Mm-hmm. The stories are more important than anything else, and I can tell you, there's two stories that happen. Okay. There's the, oh my God, I'm in debt and I can't pay my bills story. Or there's the other story of I've got a pension or I've got risks, but I want to spend, but my day-to-day money is like, I don't have any. So everyone's like, oh, only on pain of death do you take a reverse mortgage. Like when you spend all of your RIF money and you all of your other assets, then you take a reverse mortgage. No, because for each one of those stories, I can tell each one of the bad stories, I can tell a good story. Okay. Like a bad, like the last one that I did, her lady's husband had passed away. There were a couple of small mortgages on the property. One she didn't even know about. She just finished taking care of her mother, who was in her 90s, who had passed, and then her husband had passed. So she'd been a caregiver for like 25 years in this townhouse. And really, her main focus was just survival, making sure that everyone was fed and, everything was taken care of day to day. The house suffered wheelchair damage and just wear and tear, excess wear and tear on the property. And the kitchen hadn't been renovated in like 30 years. And I walk into the kitchen and the cupboards are like bowing out.
Oh dear.
It was time. And I'm standing there and I'm looking around. I'm thinking, well, the mortgages aren't bad. How about we just give you like, I don't know, I knew at that point in time, like, let's give you $130,000, which was about 20% of of the equity of her house. Let's pay off all your mortgages, pay off some small credit cards, and give you another $30,000 to fix your kitchen and paint the house and do some flooring. And she's like looking at me going, and she's starting to cry. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Oh my God, you just spent the last 20 years being a caregiver. Time for someone else to take care of you. All right.
Right.
Let's help you through this process. And that's what we ended up doing. We did $130,000 reverse mortgage, and she's in her late 70s. And now she's got cash flow and she's got a nice kitchen and a fridge that actually closes. Like it was just like simple stuff that we take for granted.
So then does she have, if she's used the reverse mortgage to pay off the other mortgages that she had, does that mean with a reverse mortgage now, does she have a monthly payment?
No. So let's dumb this down to the easiest part. Like
layman's terms.
I'm going to use 10% interest. It's not 10% interest, but round numbers for the audience more than anything else. The interest rates are usually about 2% higher, about 1% higher than a line of credit. So your average line of credit right now is prime plus a half or prime plus one, which would put you into the mid to high fives. And so a reverse mortgage is in the sixes and low sevens.
Okay.
So we're not talking about expensive product here. We're talking about lifestyle product. But I'm going to use 10%. Okay, just because we're going to do $130,000 reverse mortgage in 1 year, the interest is $13,000. It's not more like $7,000, but when you add things together, so I take that at the end of the year, I take that $13,000 and I add it on to the 130. All right, so now it's 143. All right.
Okay.
The next year, the interest is $14,000. I added on to the 140.
Okay.
So, and the actuary tables that they use are based on life expectancy. So someone in their early 70s will still be expected to live another 10-ish years. Someone who's in their 80s would be less.
Right.
All right. So that's the rationale, and that's how they base how much money that they're going to offer. So over time, okay, so the mortgage is going up. Well, Greg, over the last 30 years, what's the average home price increased by?
Well, not counting the last 5 years.
Not counting on.
Ottawa has actually been relative to the rest of the world, the country. It's been a pretty soft market, but the price probably per annum or over the last 30 years.
Per annum.
Probably about 4 or 5%.
Okay, so her appraisal was around $500,000. The house went up by say 5% each year. That's $25,000. The interest was only 13. So right. 13, 14. So as the house still increases in value, except for the years where we were 25% and then a little, probably 10 negative last year, over that period of time, the mortgage is actually not exceeding the value or outpacing the value of the house appreciation.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, there's that huge loan to value, 500,000 versus 130. So you're never going to get the mortgage exceeding the value of the house.
So then in your example with this example of the lady, say she decided to now in 5 years time, she gets the reverse mortgage for $130,000, pays off everything, updates her kitchen, and her house is valued at about $500,000. So in 5 years time, she's like, you know what, this is a lot. And I know it's a townhouse, still too much for me. I'm going to downsize, or I'm going to move to a condo. I'm going to move to a retirement home. So now her house is increased in value by,
let's just say it's still worth 500. Let's just say it's still worth 500.
Okay. And then she sells her house and she gets what it's valued at, 500,000. And so then she pays off the mortgage.
Yeah.
And she's basically left with
$370,000.
So then she can live relatively comfortably in a nice retirement community with that money. So I mean, it's amazing when you break it down and actually put it number to number. Now, I mean, obviously market fluctuates, as we've seen over the last 5 years. It's been crazy, super crazy, and then suddenly nothing. I mean, you have to take that into consideration, but that's a gamble with owning any home.
Exactly.
With having any kind of mortgage.
Right.
So let's flip to the other side of the page and talk about the fun stories for a second.
Okay. Fun stories.
Retired school teacher, pension income, $70,000, house paid off. 2 daughters, 30 years old. She didn't want to take a mortgage. She didn't want to encumber herself. So, her lifestyle was good in her house. But she wanted to gift her daughters an early retirement or early inheritance.
Okay.
And when her daughters were ready to buy homes, they were 30 years old. So she borrowed $60,000, gave each daughter $30,000, and the two went house shopping. You've never seen 3 happier people walk out of an office before, because all of a sudden it was just like, she's not incurring any cost. She's giving away a little bit of the equity out of her, at the time, probably $600,000 or $700,000 house. And she's only taking $60,000. She's taking 10%.
Wow.
And now you've got 3 people walking out and super happy. And, it's a lifestyle decision. she didn't hit her assets. She didn't take any money out of her savings. Not that she probably didn't. I don't remember, but she didn't have any.
Right.
There's stories like that happen as well. I had one guy. I walked into his house. He had like a 30-year-old white Cadillac sitting on the driveway. That was. Yeah, I noticed these things. I'm a car guy. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Old Coupe de Ville. It was awesome.
Thanks.
And I walk in, and he was an antiques dealer. Very flamboyant guy, funny guy. And he was in the early 80s, and he looks at me and he goes, my boys don't need my money. One's a doctor, one's a lawyer. I'm like, okay, no problem. They don't need your money. He goes, I want a new Cadillac. Can you give me a new Cadillac? And I'm like, how much do you need, sir? $50,000. And he was like 80. And his house was, again, worth $500,000 or something like that. And I'm like, yes, sir, sign here. Let's go get you a new car. So, you know, and it was like, and he looked at me straight in the eye. It was so funny. I'll never forget it. He goes, my boys don't need any of my money. They're doctors and lawyers. And that was it. And I'm like, yes, sir. No problem. You know, and he got to go buy a brand new Cadillac, and he was happy as a clam. You know, so like you get the happy stories, you get the stories that are like, oh my God, you have to do this, and then you get the feel good stories of I'm gonna do it. It's my money.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the two extremes in what I get to do. Like, and they both make me smile because in one case, the lady, she needed our help. In the other case, it was just fun. You know?
Right.
Yes.
He worked all his life to get this equity in the house and to work hard, and now he just wants to play, which I think is fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, you know, those are the great parts of what I get to do sometimes.
Okay. Now, Greg, I'm curious. So with downsizing, I mean, that can be a very scary word for a lot of people. So what are some of the tips? So you have a senior couple, they're 65, 70, their kids have kind of moved away, and maybe they don't come to, like, they live not in the same city. So they're looking to downsize a property. They have a 4-bedroom house and they're looking for something smaller. What are the questions that you ask them to kind of get an idea of what should you show them?
Well, I would just ask them, first of all, what their timeline is.
Okay.
And then I would want to know, are they interested in purchasing or are they interested in renting? There are some options. And then I'd want to know what part of the city they'd want to be moving to. If they're out, for example, I had someone who was in North Gore who wanted to move back to the city, to Ottawa. And so it was a question of where in the city he wanted to move to, because he had a couple of kids that were at different parts of the city. And so we actually found a nice location for him in the end, but that was all part of the conversation. And it's not something that we decide right on the moment. You know, I find when I'm working with people who are buying, that it's actually a real learning process, not only for me, but for them as well. When you're looking for a house, you might have a preconceived notion of what you think you need and what you want to find. And then going through the process, you learn, okay, well, actually, this isn't as important to me as I originally thought it was, or I didn't even think about that. That is something that I really want. And that's all part of the process. So you need to be a bit flexible with that and open-minded. And one of the things I find myself doing a lot is just asking questions. Well, what did you think of that? And why did you like that? And et cetera, just to kind of get their minds spinning. But yeah, that's pretty much the starting point, is just by conversation and just sitting down and getting to understand what they're thinking, and what their main goal is. Some people are they know exactly what they want, and they know exactly where they want to go, and it's set. It's signed in stone. But other people, it's like, you know what, I haven't done it in a long time. I really don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know what is out there. What are my choices? So we go through a bit of an adventure. Yeah.
Okay. Now you mentioned whether they want to sell their house to buy another one or to rent. What's the value of renting right now?
Well, it all depends. Yeah, it's so. What is the cost, or what is the benefit?
What is the benefit of renting right now for a senior,
Yeah.
like after selling their
So
home?
it may have to do more with finances.
Okay.
They might not have the money for the down payment, and then also have enough for paying for the house and living.
Right.
And also, when it comes to rent, sometimes it's also the retirement communities that I'm talking about with them. And
You
in
tend
fact,
to
I
do
was
that.
and I was actually at a place the other night that they actually have enough space for couples, and
Oh,
that's
that's
something
great.
that's been a problem that I've run into. And sometimes one person in the relationship is at a different stage in their life than the other person. So it needs to be a place that not only has enough space for couples, but also is flexible in terms of memory care or medical support, what
Or
have
they can
you.
call us.
Or they can call you, exactly. And actually, a lot of the places do allow, places like my place home care to
Yeah.
come in and help them, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
must experience that a lot.
Well, we do have a lot of clients in retirement homes that are in the independent living. Either they're just want a companionship or some help, or they're on the list waiting for assisted,
Yeah,
and that takes
yeah,
time, and
that does take time.
that can take a lot of time. It can take a short time. It all just depends on where they are. But yeah, so
Yeah,
sometimes it's we come in to help while they're waiting.
that's it. That's it. And sometimes actually, I'll talk to people who are, you know, talking about moving, but not today or not in 5 years. But they do need some changes, and we call that aging in place. And
Yeah.
it's a real buzzword today, especially with the demographics, the aging population.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. And we all here know different companies that can help with that, like Buildable and also Warren, who we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I can help with that
um,
type of thing.
they can help with that. And then also it's about making sure or ensuring that you're safe, and that where you're living is, you know, there will be some transitions needed within the house. It can't just stay the same. And you need to surround yourself with a real good community, because
Right.
isolation is a big drawback to aging in place. And I'm sure
It
you've seen
is.
that before.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've seen that a lot.
So
And
So
that's
you
right.
need people coming and going, and you need that activity and that socializing to be able to do that properly. I mean, what do they say? Um, s- was it social isolation is the new cancer, basically?
Yeah, that's not surprising. And we saw it during COVID as well. Like it just
Yeah,
made it even like 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't
totally.
know about you guys, but in COVID, I realized, hey, I don't like to hang out with a lot of people. I'm perfectly happy at home with my family. But if I didn't have my family, that would have been devastating to
See,
not
Yeah.
have.
I was
It's
the
very
opposite. I was standing at the end of the driveway going, huh.
Oh, were you? You want to talk to everybody?
Can I help you with the raking? Oh, do you need
Yeah.
help with the shoveling? Yeah,
The dog got a lot of extra walking through those
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're both in sales, so it's kind of
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't
you
help.
guys are people.
yeah,
I
yeah,
did. I was in restaurant and bartending and catering for many years, and I'm
Mm,
peopled out. I'm good.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like these people. I like talking to seniors. I like helping people. But I am good not going out and socializing every single day.
No, that's I can get that for sure, for sure.
And I
And
really
it's
like
funny
the
we were
6 feet away at the store.
the arm's length, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
you're in
Well,
my
when you were
space.
talking before, I was thinking about how the work that Brad and I do, his is finance based and mine is real estate based. But we're, I'm not sure if you disagree or not, Brad, but we're really in the people business.
Oh,
And
yeah.
100%. And
100%.
it really, it gets down to that whole face-to-face interaction. If we were talking about texting as well, the face-to-face is really essential to really get to know the person and to have a sense of whether you trust them or whether you like them. And the 3 points that we always say in our business is feel, like, and trust. Those are the 3 things that are most important for business to make it work. So
you can take a whole row of townhouses and they can be identical. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 10 different people living, 10 different families living in those properties, 10 different sets of ideals, 10 different situations, whether they're starting their life or towards the end, they qualify for different amounts. They have different expectations on cost and everything. Yeah. Each one of those 10 none of them will be the same.
Right.
No. That's it.
All right. So I'm going to ask each of you a question, and you can each take turns answering. But in your line of work, what have you noticed that makes a trustworthy real estate agent or trustworthy mortgage agent? What is it? What do you have to have that to get that trust, to gain that trust with your clients?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Greg, you want to go first?
Okay. I was waiting. So first of all, that face-to-face is really important. But when you're interacting with the public, whether they're clients or they're not, it's all about being respectful and also being responsive. And I was just talking to someone about that earlier today, about really doing your best to respond as quickly as possible. And then I don't mean like 2 seconds or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, but being responsive to their questions or to their communications, and then also being true to your word. So when you say you're going to do something, do it and follow through. And if you don't know something, be strong enough to be able to say, you know what, I don't know that, but I do know someone who might know that. So let me look into it and find out. And those little things there, I think, really go a long way, personally.
Okay.
And so Brad, that's like that authenticity too, right? Bringing out
what everything he just said. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, the only thing I can add to that is making sure you know as much as you can about your job. When you don't know, so I'll get back to you on that one for a second. But being a wealth of knowledge, I think that's what people turn to us more than importantly than anything else. They want to have someone that actually knows what they're talking about, has the experience, and the history of doing what we've been doing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I find in my line of work, communication is key. And I find a lot of people are very afraid of communication. Now, yes, I'm not as much of a people person as I used to be now, but I can tell you, if somebody sends me an email, I will respond. I will respond as quickly as I can with the answer. And I also find that if I don't have an answer right away, I'm not going to leave them alone. I'm going to let them know I needed a little bit of time to answer this. I got your email. I'm going to respond. I just need to do a little research or whatever I have to do. And I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten comments from clients saying, oh my gosh, you answered already. That's amazing. Like, well, yeah, I'm not going to wait 48 hours to give you a simple answer. I'm going to acknowledge your existence, that you're here, that you're asking me questions, and I'm going to get that answer for you. And it's same with the people, like our caregivers and everything. I'm not going to leave you on read, because my job, one of my main roles is to support them. So I'm going to support them and I'm going to support our clients. But I find a lot of people, okay, so maybe not everyone responds as quickly as I do, because not everyone sits there with their email sitting on a screen beside them like I do, but that's my job. But yeah, it's that whole responding and communicating and giving an answer, even if it's not a full answer yet. Let me work on it. But it drives me nuts when I don't get any kind of response.
Oh, it's the worst.
I hate it.
Yeah. And I find that person becomes, you're going to leave me on read for 3 days? 3 days, 3 business days. Like, I don't get it. How can you do that? How can you not let somebody know that you're going to work on it? Especially, I mean, we get a lot of people that are stressed. They're maxed. They're at their limit. And I'm sure both of you get that too, where, you know, Brad, your story with the lady that was after her mother and her husband died, she's in a position where she is now stressed and she's now responsible for thinking about absolutely everything. And to her spoons are gone. She has no more spoons to give to anybody. And you need to help her get those spoons back. And Greg, I'm sure you also get that, where a spouse has passed or is sick and they need to downsize right now. And ignoring somebody is not the way to garner any kind of trust.
I actually get in trouble for using this. You know, it's just like
I have different ringtones,
and I'm like, well, I'm just responding to a client right now.
I actually have a different sound for a work email versus private email, and my family now knows when that sound pops up and I get up from the table, there's a reason, because it's a work email. Especially if I'm expecting something or an emergency has happened and I need to know a response. My family will just be like, okay. Or if I'm on my phone, my husband's first thing is he's like, is that work? And I'm like, yes, it is. He's like, okay, I'll leave you alone. Because my job is 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Totally. It's tough too, because you really need to use your judgment on these things, because there are times also when you're with other clients who, you know, deserve your full attention.
100%.
But then you have someone trying to reach you at that time. What do you do?
What do you do? Exactly.
So
and it's depending on the situation, you can kind of sometimes say, I'm really sorry, this is an emergency situation, because then they might think about it as, okay, I know that if I'm in an emergency situation, he'll do everything he can to answer.
Right.
That's right.
Which
and
is
that's
what
the
you
communication.
would.
Communication is so important. You know, like if you leave an email or a voicemail dangling for, you know, more than a few hours, well, something's happened to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Or I'm out of the country. Okay?
I was going to say you're gallivanting across the other side of the world. Which is jealous. But yeah, no, communication is super important, and to garner that trust.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I know I've had clients who, when we're in the process of downsizing, and the whole process of downsizing isn't just moving from one place to another. It's also going through your house and going through your things, which is really, really hard. And it takes a bit of temperament to be able to do that at the right speed for the person, whoever they are. You know, different people do it differently. And there are times when I'll go over and they just want to talk. And so I'll sit down, because I always block off enough time for the visits. If I only have enough time for a quick visit, I'll let them know beforehand. And but you know, there are times when we'll talk for an hour or longer about stuff that has nothing to do with the house or moving or anything like that. And it's actually really interesting, because you get to learn more about the people, and you know, a lot of this stuff is really interesting stuff. And I'll have people say after the whole experience, you know, I really appreciated the time, or even when I'm there that one time or those times, they'll say, oh, I'm sure you've got lots of important things to do, instead of just sitting around and talking to me.
And the answer is always no, not at all.
No, of course not.
I'm here for you.
No.
And then inside your brain, you have like 8 things on your to-do list.
Oh, buzz it away.
And the phone's buzzing in your pocket, and you're like,
but that person deserves your attention.
That's right.
Completely. Yeah. And it's also part of the reward of this whole experience of working with you know, people like that who really don't have anyone else to look, and it's nice to feel like you're there for them.
Yeah, you're that support. And you look like my son, Greg. You look like my son. My son has glasses like that.
Well, we'll have to meet someday.
That's right. I find also the buzzword I know that we talk about, that Kumar and I talk about quite frequently, is active listening.
Yes.
And I have learned huge time, especially with these podcasts. Let me tell you, active listening is key when you're doing podcasts, because I'm also trying not to think of other topics that we can talk about or discuss, or, you know, to keep the conversation going, but still listen to what everyone is saying so I can engage accordingly. But active listening is a really good ability to have nowadays. Do you guys find the same thing, that the active listening is really key?
It's probably one of the hardest things I have to do.
So hard.
It's so
hard.
It
is so hard.
It's so hard because, you know, I can drift off the line pretty easily. You know, it's like,
I find myself actually taking notes afterwards. I'll write some notes in my phone just so I can remember.
So you have that ready and to go. Yeah. I find that hard. I do struggle with the active listening in like big conversations as well. But it is a skill that is really necessary with the way our attention can be pulled so quickly by phones, by clients needing stuff, and in the line of work we're in. It's a skill that's very necessary and hard.
We can't just swipe them, right?
No, you can't. You can't just mute them. It doesn't work that way.
That also is one that really helps to build that trust.
Like if you're not focused on your individual or your group that's in front of you, they'll know real quick.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's not paying attention to me. You know?
Yeah, and that's like I don't like being ignored. So don't ignore me, and then we'll get on fine.
That's it.
It's very difficult. So is there any tips, Greg, that you would like to impart with people when they are thinking about moving or downsizing? What should they think about first? Besides, planning. Okay, I need to move.
Planning. And that's even before you're thinking about moving, is to kind of think, first of all, where am I going to be 5 years from now? And I found myself saying that the other night at a seminar. And that is, you know, where do you see yourself down the road? It could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, but you know, you're getting to a certain stage in your life where things can happen. They can come out of nowhere and you need to be prepared. So a plan is really important. And that's whether you're aging in place or whether you're downsizing. I think planning is the most important thing. And not everyone is able to do that, but it's helpful because it's just not in their mind. It's just not the way they operate. And that's where calling someone like Brad or myself, or even the two of you, comes in handy, because then you have someone to talk to and ask questions and get an idea from them, because we have the experience and we've worked with enough people to know what works for this person or what works for that person. So that would be my one, you know, gem.
Plan. Brad, anything besides planning?
Well, planning, yes, but just planning in a different way. Making sure your credit's in good condition. You know, that you'd be surprised. 1 in 10 applications, I always find something. You know, there's a mistake, or there's or not enough credit. I find that's it's either those two things right there. It's just like, oh no, I only need one $500 credit card. And I'm like, no, you need more than that, or a collection, or a fraud. You know, because it can happen. And
it can. Yes, it can.
Every month I get all three. Every month there's one of those three in my credit pulse, and I'd say that those are the biggest challenges that I have on a regular basis. Is what's on the credit report.
Actually, that made me think of something. Okay, so I've experienced it with clients where, you know, the husband passed and the husband did all the finances and did everything. The credit card was in their name. Their wife was an add-on, but everything was in the husband's name. So how can a senior, or I mean anyone in this case, build their credit in a good way?
Well, so that situation does happen quite often where, one person had all the credit and you had secondary supplemental cards.
Mm-hmm.
The person with all the credit dies. Well, that other person will have a credit rating of like maybe 0 or very thin credit. They need to go back to their bank right away and get a credit card, get credit cards or a line of credit on their home. And in that situation, I would go back to their day-to-day bank and go to their day-to-day bank and say, listen, I need some credit now because my husband or my wife had everything and I don't have anything. But hopefully, we're seeing less and less of that now, but it still does happen once in a while.
Right, because you need a credit card for everything. Like to do anything, you need a credit card because you need to. They need to be able to get their money anyways. But so what can you do to build your credit? So you have $1,000 credit card. Is it better to put everything, to pay all your groceries and your gas or whatever on that credit card and then pay it off when it's due? Or can you purchase something on it and then go home and pay it off? Like, how does your credit build if you have very minimal credit?
Okay, so we're going to talk about capacity now.
Okay.
So capacity on $1,000 credit card, it means you have up to $1,000 spending on it. It's not like going down the Queensway and not going above 100 kilometers an hour and not getting a ticket. If you're carrying a $990 balance on your $1,000 credit card, your score is going to go down.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to go over that limit. If your balance is if you're at 90% capacity, it takes one visit to a store or Costco or a dinner out and you're over your
Costco.
If that's the day that the bank reports your over limit to Equifax, that's the day your score goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's only $1,000 card. It's not very much money. No, but it's your limit. It's your capacity. All right.
Okay.
So if you find that you're bouncing on your capacity quite a lot, then you need to make multiple payments through the month to make sure that you're below your capacity.
Okay.
I like to tell people that they should never be above 25% of their capacity. So $1,000 credit card isn't even really good. A $10,000 credit card is more appropriate, where if you're carrying any kind of balance, $2,500 isn't going to kill you. Like, it's not going to kill your score. But if you have $1,000 limit and you're at $2,500, your score is going to be falling. You're going to be in the 500s instantly overnight.
Okay. So it's the capacity.
Capacity is 30% of your score.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then your payment history is 35%. So if you miss, the interest cost on $1,000 limit card might be $20. Oh, it was only $20 if I missed. Yeah, but you missed the payment. The bank doesn't care. All they know is the matrix says that you missed a payment.
Right.
It would be for $20 or $200 or $2,000. You missed a payment.
Yeah.
Okay?
So that's why they say at least pay the minimum. If you can't pay it all off, pay the minimum at least, because then it is counted as your payment.
You must make a monthly payment. Do not. My balance is only $20, and I didn't make a payment because it was only $20, and the interest rolled over. Well, you do that 4 months in a row. That's 4 late payments, 4 missed payments. That's going to kill your score too.
Wow. And how often is it, I guess, tallied? Like, how often is your score just constantly changing?
Yes.
Okay.
So it depends on the agreement that each one of the creditors, like all the banks and Visa and MasterCard and Amex, they all have separate agreements with Equifax and TransUnion as to when they're going to post the client's data information. And we're just data. We're it's not personal or anything like that. The 4 of us are just little bits of data that Visa reports everything into Equifax and TransUnion. All right. And they can report, Visa can decide to report to one credit card, one credit facility more than the other one. For instance, RBC likes TransUnion more than they like Equifax. So they report more to whatever agreement they have.
I see.
Most of them dual report now, but there are still like some of the credit unions that will only report to one and not the other. But then the two of them share information on on some kind of basis. They don't tell us what the secret sauce is. I can tell you that there's 350 points of data that go into your credit score. Capacity and payment history are two of them. All right. The other ones are mixes. So having a credit card, having a car loan, having a mortgage, having a cell phone. Those are 4 different kinds of credit that you could have. And you should have at least 2 or 3 of the 4 mix. The other one is age. So if you open and close credit cards, that's not very good. And then the last one, the one that's the least important of all, is how many times your credit score is pulled, which is the funniest one, because everyone on YouTube or social media go, oh, don't let anyone pull your credit report. It could go down. And I'm like, it's the least important. All right.
Yeah.
Because shopping for a car or when you're shopping for a house, the system actually realizes that you may go to 2 or 3 banks to get a car loan, or you may go to 2 or 3 mortgage companies and banks to get a mortgage. So it actually, if it sees a number of hits in 1 month, they're like, yeah, it's not that big a deal. We know what you're doing.
And then suddenly you have a car loan on you. We had to purchase a new car in March, and it was the same thing. It was like, you had to do the multiple things, and then we happened to look at our credit score and saw that each transaction was there. You're like,
and it went down. Maybe went down like 2 or 3% because of all those multiple hits. But the average person, day-to-day lives throughout our world, probably has 3 or 4 credit hits per year. Okay. So, having a few in any general year is really not that big a deal, as much as all the social media people try and tell you that it's terrible. Or your bankers.
Is it true if you, sorry, Brad, is it true if you pull your own credit score that you don't get, if it's you doing it?
Correct.
You don't get dinged by it? Yeah.
So if you have an account with Equifax or TransUnion, those two, absolutely, you can pay your membership and you can pull your credit.
Yeah.
Do not trust any of the third-party ones. All right. Yeah. And the names escape me right now, but there's all these free credit reporting agencies out there that are third-party companies. Use them. They're not reputable. They don't buy the full 350 points of data. They won't tell you if you have a collection on your credit report.
Right.
Yeah. Credit Karma is one of the ones that I'm thinking of.
Okay. Stick to the 2 reputable ones. And they do have monthly subscriptions. We have learned this in our family. We have learned this, and they will send texts and email alerts if there's anything shows up on your credit, on your history and everything like that. And it's also a good idea to keep your information updated, because when my husband went on, when he had to do this, went on TransUnion, they have 9 phone numbers on his history. And he's like, I think this was one from here. And I'm looking at it going, okay, we've been together for 21 years. And I recognize like 3 numbers on here.
Whose number is that?
Right. A whole other conversation.
Well, and your job and everything. So we were talking about it. We're like, okay, we're not going to pay the monthly subscription because it's like $35 for TransUnion. I'm not sure what Equifax is. So that's $70 a month for both of us. That's not in my budget, but we do have a reminder on our phone for every 6 months that we will do it and keep an eye on it that
way. Good idea.
So go online, be in contact with them. If you have to pay for a month, pay for a month.
Yeah.
All right. You don't need to keep them on. You don't need to keep a monthly membership on. But if you have had problems, and most of us don't need to do this, if you have, as long as you've got that consumer fraud alert on there, then when I pull your credit report, I'm like, I see at the bottom of it, consumer fraud alert, and I'm like, okay, great. So that means that when I send my file to EQ Bank Reverse Mortgages or Scotiabank as a regular file, those companies have to call you directly and say, do you want to, or did you do this?
We have that on his now. That's on his file because of the situation that we're in. And that should be another whole topic we talk about is identity fraud, because it's easy for seniors to get into that too, because some are very trusting. And it's very scary. Like, we caught it. Luckily, the person that called my husband, it was a collection agency, and he was just like, yeah, I flagged this as fraud because everything happened in BC and you guys are in Ontario. So there is, but even the credit union that they had opened an account under my husband's name said they actually closed the account already by the time we had called. And they said, we've already closed it because we suspect it's fraud as well.
And there's the problem. You know, the credit companies found it was fraud, but they already reported it. But then they didn't go back and correct it with Equifax or TransUnion.
Yeah.
And so
we found another suspectful one on his TransUnion one. I'm like, you need to call them about that, because we didn't open a $20,000 loan on August 8th of this year.
Wow.
I had a client last month. I pulled their credit report, and they spectacularly had a $35,000 Telus collection. And I'm like, I don't even know how you could get that high.
Not anymore.
No. And the poor guy, the client, is so meticulous and so detailed. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is wrong, but I have to tell you anyways, and you're not going to like this, but there's a $35,000 collection from Telus on your, and the poor guy's head exploded. And I'm like,
oh my God. Oh yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
It was crazy. It was just crazy. And he was on the phone with Equifax the next day and launched an investigation. And of course, who in this world can get a $35,000 cell collection these days?
Probably an iPhone.
Yeah. Well, I remember.
Sorry, Apple.
I remember though, like it. 20 years ago, because I lived in Kingston when I met my husband, and he lived in Ottawa, and our phone bills were bad. Like when I moved from Kingston to move in with him in Ottawa, I had like a $700 bell bill, and I canceled my stuff. They're like, you still have to pay this. I'm like, no, I know that, but the long distance, because we would spend, every night 5 or 6 hours talking on the phone together. His daughter was like, oh my God, are you talking to her again? She loves me. We're good. But I remember getting the $600 phone bills.
Yeah. It's crazy. My wife lived in Ottawa and I lived in Toronto, and we used to call it the LDR, which was a long distance relationship. But the phone, spending so much time on the phone. I hear you.
Yeah, it's hard. And my husband and I, we also worked at the same company, just different offices. So we emailed a lot through work. Thanks, Drano. You helped us save money on our communication through work emails.
Awesome.
Well, I can't believe it, but it's already been the hour, guys.
There you go.
And
flew by.
So I'm just going to ask each of you like one piece of advice that you'd like to offer to close up. What's the biggest thing you'd like to let people know? Greg?
Okay. I'd say if you don't know how to do something, or you don't know how to fix something, or if you're concerned or worry about something, reach out to someone who does know and ask for some help. And don't ever be afraid of asking for help, or don't ever think that you have to do it all by yourself. There are lots of people out there who are trained either professionally or just experientially, and they can help you with what you're having challenges with.
So if you have questions about real estate,
that's true.
Reach out to Greg.
That's true. Yeah.
Greg's info is below, as is Brad's. Brad, what is your final thoughts?
Don't rely on dated information.
That's a good one.
You know,
Yeah.
this is the way I did it last time, 16 years ago when I bought your house, hey, Heidi, right?
Yep.
A lot has changed.
Lots has changed.
A lot has changed.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a misconception that I have to work through on a regular basis. There's, wasn't this hard last time? And I'm like, yeah, well,
A lot has changed.
There's been a few rule changes in the industry over the last 20 years.
Indeed.
Yeah. They call that progress, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Usually.
Yeah. In our world, Greg, it's compliance and paperwork and
Oh my gosh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Mine too with HR.
And the law. Yeah.
any money laundering rules.
That's it.
Oh my
That's it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Compassionate
Thank you,
Conversations.
guys.
Check
Great.
out
Yeah. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah.
Such an
Great.
honor. It was great. And check out below for any of their information, their contact information. And don't forget to come back and see us for Compassionate Chats coming soon. Have an awesome weekend, everyone. Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Bye.